Hi guys, this is week 35 and this week I'm working with the Kelly Stamp September release, which is this stamp set Happy Routine and these really cute little stickers too. So I've just started by doing my title card and I've just used those wood veneers to trace around and as a stitching template, and I've just stitched them in blue thread, and now I'm going to get started on these cards here. So I'm going to do a little bit of repeat stamping with two of the stamps from the stamp set, just in a couple of different coloured inks. One's a sort of pink and one will be yellow, and so all I've done is just speed that up because it does take a little bit of time, but all I'm doing is just offsetting them up the card. So that's both of those, and then they're both going to look pretty similar, so I'm just going to stick down these Instaxes just with a little bit of tape runner, and then I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple them at the top and the bottom. I do end up swapping those cards around in the end, but for now they're going to sit there. This one here, I really wanted to use the stamp Mega Heart Eyes, but it was too tiny for my big photo, so instead I've used the digital set, and I just printed that out on some vellum, and then I've just trimmed that down to a little strip there, and I'm going to add some washi underneath. So I'm just running a strip, and I was trying to sort of rip the ends and put it in the center, but it didn't end up very centered when I ripped the right hand side, so I just added a little bit more onto the left, and I'll just move the whole thing over to the left rather than centered like I was planning to have it. So to attach my vellum piece, I'm just going to use the tiny attacher again and just trim off the other end, so it's a wee banner shape sort of thing there. The tiny attacher will do fine to hold that in place. For my title card, I'm going to use the Slim Jim Alpha to stamp out the word week on the other side of the stitched 35, and then later on I might add a sticker or two to it as well, but for now it's going to be pretty simple. The background paper that it's on is reasonably busy in itself, and I really love the coloured stitching, so I might have to try that a bit more often. Usually I'm white, but the blue really worked for me. I couldn't decide on a colour for this bottom pocket. Like, I really liked that dark blue, but I just felt it was a bit heavy, so I tried all the other colours, and in the end I just went with the dark blue because that's the one I loved the most. So I'm going to stamp a wee background piece here, and I'm going to emboss it with this pink embossing powder. So I've just used my powder tool to start off with, and I'm going to stamp a row of these circles. So this is just the clear circle from the stamp set. And since I'm going to put that photo on it, I'm not going to stamp all the way across. I'm going to leave a gap in the middle just for ease. And so I'm using the Zing embossing powder, and I'm going to heat set that. Now I'm going to stamp 3 rows of circles, but I'm just going to do them one row at a time because I wasn't sure how long that Versamark ink would stay wet on the paper for. And so I thought it was just easier to do one row at a time. And in the second row here, I'm also going to stamp the circle that's got the word rad in the middle of it, and then heat set that as well. And then I was trying to decide whether I was going to leave it at 2 rows or add an extra one, and I thought, no, I'm going to add the extra one, so I do that one more time. And then that's that card. So I'm just using my sleeve there to wipe off that excess powder. The card did warp a little bit with the heat setting, but not too bad. I find if you let your heat gun heat up reasonably hot before you start embossing it, that helps with the warping. So just stuck that photo down onto there, and then I'm moving on to this card here. I'm going to make a wee label. There's a square label stamp in the kit, so I'm going to stamp that up on this pattern paper here, and then stamp my heart in the middle. Sorry, headshot. Just had to get that in the middle of the square. Trim that out, and then I'm going to glue that down onto the card. I just felt like it needed a little something extra, so I'm adding a couple of enamel hearts as well. Now this card here, I wanted to put, I only had a tiny bit of journaling, I wanted to put some journaling on, and because I had that big black space there, I wanted to cover that up a little bit. So in the end I've gone with the more sort of neutral tag, but it still has a wee bit of neon on it, which is totally me. That one's from Kiki K from a long time ago, so I'm happy to use some stuff out of my stash as well. And again, just adding that label stamp and one of the little words stamps. and then a tiny bit of journaling. So I had a vague idea for this photo that I was going to add one of these stickers, and then I was going to add some stamping around the outside of that. So I've got my white Brilliance ink, and I was just going to stamp a few of these word sentiments. They all fit so perfectly. It just wasn't coming together how I wanted it to. So I decided to try different colour ink. So I just added some black on those brighter parts of the photo where the white definitely wasn't going to show up. And then I just kept going. Eventually I added in some gold as well, but I still wasn't anywhere near happy with it, and I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do to fix it. So I've used up all the words that I was planning to use, and it just wasn't right. So then I had this epiphany. Right, I'll just reuse some of the stamps that I've already used. It won't matter if they're there more than once, and I'm going to stamp each of those words in the different ink. So really just fill up that bottom corner of the photo with the stamps. And in the end, I was much happier with it. So I guess it just goes to show, just keep going. More is more in this case. And then all I was going to do was just add a few more of these cute stickers onto the photos around the page. I also swapped those cards just so the two stamped ones weren't beside each other in the end. And that's it, week 35 done. I really love this stamp set. It's so versatile, and honestly I've used it for so many projects. There's so many fun sentiments in there. I would highly encourage you to go and check it out. If you want to keep watching more videos, there's a couple on screen. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. See you next time.